Taste bud time, you better believe it. Time for you to stop by Carmichael's, the place for steaks in Chicago, 1052 West Monroe Street. Just a hop, skip, and a jump, or a driver and a wedge from the United Center. Once you stop at Carmichael's, I guarantee you, you are going to be so happy with your meal, you're going to be a bona fide regular. Meanwhile, game time, long ball time, Daily Coppock time, a White Sox up top. It says here the Cubs are not the ball club that should have picked up Kerry Wood during the offseason. Kenny Williams, Ozzie Guillen, and the Chicago White Sox should have picked up Kerry Wood. Why? Yes, the White Sox have an abundance of power. Playing in that bandbox on 35th Street, they'll probably hit 240 home runs. But the bullpen right now, in my opinion, very suspect. Forget about Bobby Jenks. Bobby Jenks, in my opinion, the good days are in the scrapbook. But here is what concerns me. There is no J.J. Putz to pitch the seventh inning. Matt Thornton, no longer in the eighth inning bridge role. He's now on the hot seat pitching the ninth inning when you have to get the three toughest outs in Major League Baseball. Chris Sales, just a kid. Every time Will Oman goes to the mound, you want to hide the women and children. In other words, Kenny Williams, if you're out there, K-Dub, my good friend, while you're thinking about your restaurant over on Randolph Street, the market, also think about your bullpen because you are going to have to trade. Meanwhile, empty seats and seagulls over the friendly confines known as beautiful Wrigley Field. What is wrong with the Cubs? Why aren't they selling out? Why did they have their lowest crowd since 2002, just several days ago? Let me give you a couple of reasons, one of which I haven't heard anybody talk about. John McDonough, the marketing genius, the best Major League Baseball had to offer, left the organization several years ago to become president, of course, of the Chicago Blackhawks. That's point number one. Point number two, has it dawned on anybody that maybe at this point Cub fans are worn out, bored, tired, and disgusted by Alfonso Soriano and are looking at Aramis Ramirez and saying, is that all there is? Number three, ticket prices. When you come up with an $83 premium bleacher ticket, you know what you're doing? You're smacking your fandom right in the face as far as I'm concerned. Those are three reasons right there. On the positive side, Cub fans might actually be showing a modest degree of intelligence by saying, if you want our dough, you're going to have to win ball games. One other point, look at the economy. Then think about an $83 bleacher ticket. An $83 bleacher ticket, that's a good reason for Mayor Daley to convene the city council. All right, settle back because this one is going to knock your socks off. This tells me Armageddon is right around the corner. Ever hear of a professional wrestler by the name of Nature Boy Ric Flair? Of course you have. Who hasn't heard about Nature Boy Ric Flair? And by the way, with professional wrestlers, when they go out to tie one on, I mean really lower the boom at the local bar, what are they doing? They aren't drinking, they are naching. And what does naching mean? It means that if you ever wind up in a drinking contest with Ric Flair, you are a legitimate 15-1 underdog. Anyway, Ric Flair has been hired by the great state of North Carolina to help promote higher education. Take one look at this and realize there might be a lot for dropping out early.
Can I get one of those woo tickets?
Excuse me?
One of those woo tickets.
It's not woo, it's woo!
Woo!
Woo! Introducing Ric Flair's new woo! Scratch-off ticket for the North Carolina Educational Lottery with a top prize of $100,000. It's enough to make anyone say, woo! 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 Woo!
Woo!
All right, I'm not sure this guy is a great hustler, but I will say this much. He's already hustled his way into a fair share of American wallets. Charlie Sheehan in the spotlight. You know what? Maybe Charlie really isn't a great hustler, but I'll guarantee you his front man has got the fangs of a cobra. Are you ready for this? The front man has arranged for a company with close ties to Charlie to trademark 22 of his so-called catchphrases. You know, phrases like tiger blood and rock star from Mars. What's the objective? Think bobblehead dolls, think T-shirts, think caps, think bedroom slippers, think money. That's what it's all about. All right, I just love this. Monday night, the national championship game. Jim Calhoun and UConn lower the boom on Butler. Forget about Butler putting the ball into a in-ground pool in your backyard. Butler couldn't put the ball in the Indian Ocean. That being said, the real fun came after the ball game when Gene Smith, the athletic director at Ohio State, made the awards presentation to Jim Calhoun, the head coach at UConn. That was kind of interesting. NCAA, Gene Smith, his head football coach, Jim Tressel, the Buckeyes front man who was supposed to be Mr. Clean, suspended for the first 5 games of college football 2011. Jim Calhoun, the head coach of our national champion Connecticut Huskies, suspended for the first 3 games of college basketball 2011, 2012. If that doesn't say student athlete, if that doesn't say purity, if that doesn't say that a guy like Kemba Walker shouldn't be given the right to merchandise his name through Reebok, Adidas, or any shoe company to make a couple of extra bucks, I don't know what does. Meanwhile, great song, originally done by Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys off their Holland album back in the 70s called Sail on Sailor. Before we get to a great cover done by Darius Rucker and Matthew Sweet. By the way, Del, what band was Darius Rucker with?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie and the Blowfish, that's right, for 10 points. Let's go to world history for 15. Want to remind all you people, stop by Carmichael's, 1052 West Monroe Street. Try out the au gratin potatoes, then connect with me on Facebook and tell me they aren't the best au gratin potatoes you've ever had in your life. Lower the boom on a big steak or a rack of ribs. There is nothing like dining at Carmichael's. Once again, just a quick pitch from the United Center. Carmichael's, it doesn't get any better. Matthew Sweet, Darius Rucker, Sail on Sailor. We'll catch you next time around. I'm Chet Coppock. This has been the Daily Coppock. So long, everybody.